What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. We're looking at the Thursday 5-game main slate starting at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Could very well be a 4-game main slate as rain continues to hit the New York area. That Angels-New York game is expecting to see some wet weather with the hurricane, tropical storm moving its way up the coast. Of course, their game on Tuesday was postponed. They played the doubleheader on Wednesday, so we'll see whether or not that game plays or not. But overall, a pretty good slate for being 4 games here, James. What are your initial thoughts as we pull up the board here?
My initial thoughts are that there's 5 games, not 4.
No, I said 5. It could be 4 if the Yankees game gets postponed.
And then you said it looks like a pretty good 4-game slate. What do you think?
All right, whatever.
Sorry, nitpicking.
Guy turns his hat around and all of a sudden he's just a whole new person.
Come on, man. We just talked about this. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting slate. I think the pitching is but that means the bats are right. So with every bad pitching slate, that means there's even better hitting. So let's get into the pitching.
Your top price pitcher is Kevin Gausman at $9,500. You have Brian Wu at $9K. Obviously, Gausman has been iffy at best this year. Peripheral numbers are a little bit better than what his actual numbers are from an ERA standpoint, slightly. The strikeouts have been a big problem all season long. A career low K per 9, under 9 strikeouts per 9 for Kevin Gausman for a guy that is generally a 10+ pitcher. So that has resulted in him getting hit more. The control has been a problem more than ever before. So does not deserve to be your top price starter against Baltimore here. So for me, I'm just fading Gausman. Wu, on the other hand, coming off of 7 shutout against the Phillies, at home against Detroit on a short slate, 60%. Do you think? Where's the ownership coming in here?
Yeah, I would say he's by far the highest rostered pitcher of the day because, like you mentioned, Gausman. Now he has to face a lefty riddled lineup. Tyler Anderson, got beat up his last start. Nobody pitches anybody against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, especially with them actually being like a good lineup again. Kramer's been pretty bad since his return. I mean, there's a lot to like. I would say I'd take the over at 60%. I would, in like single entry cash game stuff, I think Brian Wu's owned in like almost every single lineup.
Yeah, 100%. Because like you said, where you go down, like where's your next play of this group? If the Yankees are home and that game plays, Nestor sort of has the historical home splits in his advantage. Obviously, he did not do well against Tampa Bay the last time he was home. The Angels are not a good offense. They struggle against lefties. Win equity would certainly be in Cortez's favor here. It's just whether or not like he gives himself a chance to score fantasy points. It's not great if you have all this win equity and you score 12 points because you gave up 5. So
yep.
Where would you, is Shane Baz your number 2 pitcher on this slate? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean he's just a good pitcher. I would say the only thing they're obviously being cautious with the workload because we haven't seen since his debut more than 92, and since the debut 68, 76, 86, 80, right? Yeah. And like one of those games 80 pitches, obviously like there was traffic on the bases, but 80 pitches in the Cincinnati start, if he's not coming off Tommy John or not limited, he's not being taken out after 6 and 86, right? In a normal season. So I would say that's the only downside because it's a good matchup overall. Kyle Gibson is, I think, a little bit interesting only because Tampa Bay has what they have right now with their lineup. But there's really not a lot else to even consider. Like Nestor at home, John. I mean, we have talked about Nestor at home.
Yeah.
So there is that. He's coming off a pretty good start against Philadelphia. My pitching pool is pretty simple. It's Woo, it's Gibson, it's Boz, and it's Nestor. And I just don't think there's much else to like
I
anymore.
agree. Catcher, obviously smaller slate, so some spots to pick on. I think it's very obvious. Well, let me ask you: is it going to be very obvious here? Um, in terms of like last 30-day numbers, the Phillies do have some really good statistics against lefties. Now, Clayton Kershaw handled them pretty well the other night, but Jordan Montgomery has been just horrific. So, what wins out here? I guess some of the recent Phillies overall struggles, their better splits versus lefties. Like, where do you find yourself with like a JT Real Muto here?
I mean, he's definitely interesting. He's been pretty bad since coming off the
Yeah.
IL. But I mean, he's obviously one of the better hitting catchers in terms of talent. So I'd be okay with it. I don't have like a strong like lean yes or no, but Montgomery's been that bad that I'm okay with getting to anything Philly.
Okay. Value catchers, obviously smaller slate. We'll see where it
Kirk,
goes. You just go right
Kirk.
back to Kirk. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not a lefty, but it's Alejandro Kirk for
I
sure.
agree. Hit in the middle of that lineup. First base here. I'm not shying away from the lefty matchup for Harper, even though he's struggled. Vladdy against Creamer, pretty good at $5,200 there. And then any of the Baltimore bats.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Vlad, as long as he's still in the lineup, like there's interest. He's been that good. The Baltimore guys are good. I don't know if Kenta Maeda actually starts here. I feel like this is like the 10th time we've seen Kenta Maeda listed as a starter, and he has not started of late.
Yeah.
Probably the bulk guy. There's probably a pitcher in front of him, but if he is like suggested as or is going to be used as the bulk guy, we didn't mention Cal Raleigh, a catcher, but like Luke Raley has a couple home runs lately. I would go there for some value at first base. And then like, dude, Josh Bell, anyone that crapped on him, man, they have to be feeling a little silly now, huh? Josh Bell double donged again on the Wednesday slate, or not the Wednesday slate, the second game of their doubleheader. Josh Bell, 2 home runs. He has been in a massive power surge, and Colby Allard is a journeyman to the 20th degree. I'd be perfectly fine attacking him. So I think Josh Bell stands out to me as an elite value at first base.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were fine with Josh Bell. Our fearless leader, Howard Bender, was not a Josh Bell guy.
No, very much an anti Josh Bell guy.
So yeah,
Don't talk to him about if you ever don't catch Howard on a bad day with about Josh Bell. He's not a fan.
not a fan. Second base, Ketel Marte versus lefty, 6K.
Dude, things just get better for him every day.
He is so good.
He homered. He faced a righty for the first 3 at bats or 4 at bats. He then got a lefty in the ninth and homered off him like immediately.
Yeah.
Dude, 6K this is like criminally low for this guy at this point. And you know what? The other day when in that spot that we were talking about, he was like super low owned. I bet you no one pays. I feel like he's going to be low owned again.
On a
Like
5-game slate, you think no one plays him against a lefty?
I think people play him, but like low owned where it should be, especially when like Jackson Holiday's at 3,200. I think
True.
a lot of ownership,
I always
right?
like have a small like brain lapse that Holidays on this slate. Yeah, that's fair.
Like when you can do that and get him for 32, I think Glaber will get some ownership at
Polanco could be pretty good
3,500.
if Mayed is actually starting.
And Polanco, who's been you're right. So like I do think a 6K Ketel Marte is a little cheap because like are you paying 6K? Does that mean you're not getting Judge against Tyler Anderson? Or does that mean you're not getting Gunnar Henderson? Or like what,
Yeah,
like
well,
what
that's it is. You're either your money is going to be spent up on Baltimore or New York. So.
or Philly against Jordan Montgomery. So like that's where I think you can get leverage with a Ketel Marte, who's arguably been as good as anybody in baseball lately. And we know how his pedigree against lefties.
Yeah. Third base. Jazz is your top price guy, lefty for him. Best third baseman in baseball, Alec Boehm gets Jordan Montgomery at $4,800. Obviously, would be a great spot to play Alec Boehm here on this slate if you wanted to spend up for him there for sure. Value wise, like there's not a ton of value. Our guy Ernie Clement is $2,500 though, so
Getting cheaper. We're getting
getting
cheaper by
cheaper
the
than he
day.
was on the Wednesday slate.
Yeah, I mean, Bohm at 48 is for sure in play. Leads baseball in doubles. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah,
Um,
was once the RBI leader, but he's had like three. I mean, RBI is starting to pick up, but he went like a month with like 2 RBIs. So
well, and then Aaron Judge had 50 in a month. So
yeah,
you're like,
yeah. And
Uniheno
Vladdy
and
had
Vladdy.
like
I mean, dude, yeah, like, yeah, yeah. Uniheno continues to hit. And, like, even in these one hit games, he's being like super productive, right? Because it's like runs driven in, home runs, extra base hits. This was like Cincinnati Uniheno Suarez. So
yeah.
$3,800 for sure in play. And Mundo Sosa is a little bit interesting. We didn't mention him at second base, but he's actually been really good against lefties all
Yeah,
year.
big dude. This was one of my early boys. Calling him way back in the day.
When Turner,
Um,
when he's playing shortstop every day, when Turner
yeah,
was
and I
out,
think he
right?
even homered the like one of our big call days on him. Yeah, no, 100% on Armando Sosa versus lefties. Big play for him.
And then Clement, and I will say, Oswaldo Cabrera. I'll just give him a shout. A couple home runs in the last couple games. Just homered on the in the first game of the doubleheader for the Yankees on Wednesday. If he finds his way into the lineup, I would be okay with getting to $2,600 Cabrera in a stack.
Sure. Shortstops, Gunners up at the top. Obviously, a great spot for him against Gossman. Turner, $5,800, equally as strong. If you're not in on Nestor Cortez, Zach Nato has some really good numbers against
Yes.
lefties. 4K for him again, top prospect. Power and speed out of Nato this year, so really developing for the Angels. Those are your top three. But dude, Volpe at $3,600, the way he's
Yeah,
been
he's
hitting,
ridiculous.
like,
Ridiculous. He has been ridiculous. I have nothing else to say. He's been ridiculous.
the
You
price
got to
tag
play.
doesn't make much sense, honestly, given the way he's been playing. He should be a 4K guy.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's like he's not doing just one thing. It's power, it's runs scored, it's driving in runs. He's stealing bases again. So yeah, I think Volpe's the best value at shortstop of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you. Value, we talked already. Clements down here.
Dude, Perdomo has been kind of ridiculous lately. He homered, which obviously like
He's not a homer guy.
not a homer guy, but like 10 RBIs his last 10 games. He's been super productive. Don't forget, John, 2023 All-Star.
Yeah.
2023 All-Star.
Yeah,
Can never take that away from him.
Anything else here for you?
No, but don't forget 2023 All-Star or all the Perdomo.
You keep saying it. Get tattooed. I get it tattooed on me the next time he makes an all-star team. Judge and Soto, your top two guys. Yeah. Santander. Schwarber actually hits lefties pretty well. What are your thoughts here?
My thoughts are playing Aaron Judge is a profitable approach. If you want to do that, it's a good one. Tyler Anderson, again, we've said it. Every start, like he's getting lucky. He's starting to get hit too, so that's coming around. You can play Soto against lefties. He hits 300 against them. Santander has over 300 ISO against righties this year. For a guy who's always hit lefties, he's been equally as good against righties this year. Schwarber is hitting everybody. It's not just like you're right on the lefty front, but he's hitting everything now. Dude, you were saying 250? Pretty soon he might be 260, 270. Like if he continues the way he's rolling. I know it's a lefty too, and I probably shouldn't be in on Corbin Carroll. But dude, actual signs of life, legit signs of life coming out of Corbin Carroll, specifically from I would say the power side of things. It's been on display, but no one's going to play him against a lefty. So if you want to get a low on Corbin Carroll, who's hitting a lot of home runs lately, you
can. Sure. I definitely don't mind that. Good to see the power come back and value for him overall. Randy Rosarena again. Really anybody who Detroit pitches, I'll be in on for Seattle. Truthfully,
yep.
I think here.
Agreed.
Lourdes against Allard at 44 is pretty good. Kowser's 44 is pretty good. Burleson's been strong. I know we like Baz here, but could go Burleson.
Agreed.
Good. Castellanos 3,800. There's a lot of really homered big last night. I mean, there's a lot of good plays in the outfield.
I am a Nick Castellanos against lefties kind of guy. He's super solid, and the price has really dipped to a point that we can take advantage of. So 3,800, I'm all in on Castellanos there. Grishik will hit in the middle of the lineup for Arizona with a lefty on the mound. Victor Robles, 3,400, slowing down a little bit, still hitting over 300 his last 10 games. So I think all those guys are in play. I don't think there's like much else like below 3K that I would get to, but I'm sure there will be something that opens up when the
For sure.
when we get lineups.
Value down here?
I don't think there's anything particularly all that good.
Okay.
Truthfully.
Let's get a lineup going then.
Maybe Loperfido 2,400. That'd be the one shot.
Okay. So Woo.
Yeah.
And then
probably, I mean, it's probably Shane Baz, but like if I could be talked into Nestor or Kyle Gibson.
Oh, that's fine. 4,300. Who's our spend up? It'll be going Gunner. You said Judge.
Well, it's Judge or Cattell. I think it's Judge or Marte. And the second base thing is obviously makes it easy to get Holiday. I think Volpe is our shortstop. And then first base, Josh Bell at 35.
Yeah, that works. Get it.
Power surge.
Okay, 4,100 for two outfielders.
I mean, you just gave the Castellanos shout $3,800.
That works actually perfectly because I plugged in Lourdes too. So, Woo, Baz, Kirk, Bell, Marte, Clement, Volpe, Judge, Gurriel, and Castellanos.
Sounds great.
Love it. Example lineup for all of you. Our guy Henry's on the playbook for Thursday, so make sure you check that out. If you have any questions, find us in Discord. Get us on Twitter. We appreciate all the support from you guys here. If you hit that subscribe button, a free way to support the work we do here over on Fantasy Alarm. We'll catch you all for the live stream at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then for the big slate on Friday. Till then, we'll talk to you then.